This is Friday the 20th of January's reading lesson, and today we are focusing on summarising. Our learning intention today is to gain a deeper understanding of a text. And specifically, our success criteria is to summarise a text by using questions like who, what, where, when and how. When we're thinking about summarising, we first of all have to read the text. Your text, boys and girls, is the book that you've been assigned on Collins Big Cat's ebooks. You should have read all of it so far this week, and now that you have finished it, you should be able to summarise what you have read. You should ask yourself questions like, what was this text about? Your answer should be in a complete sentence or two. It should cover the main points and key ideas of the text. It should be in your own words, and it shouldn't just be one or two words. And again, you should consider things like who was in the story, where did the story take place, what was the main event or problem, and how was that problem resolved in some way. So let's look at an example then for our lesson today. If we look at the famous text then, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the Disney version, let's first of all decide who is in this text. Who is the main character in this text? You might want to turn to somebody at home and answer that question just now. And hopefully you said Snow White, the title, it's literally named after her. Snow White. Where does this take place? Now, you might not have seen Snow White, but hopefully you know a little bit of information about it. And it mainly takes place, boys and girls, in the forest. Does anybody know what the big problem is that happens in Snow White? If you look at the picture of the text there, if I circle these two people here, hopefully that gives you a little clue of what the main problem is. What happens to her is she is poisoned by the evil queen who's in disguise. At the bottom there you can see her with the apple, the poisonous apple. And then how is that problem solved then? She's saved by the prince, who you can see in the picture there, and also by the seven dwarfs. So she's saved by the prince and the seven dwarfs. Now that I have answered these questions, boys and girls, my who, where, what and how questions, I can go about writing that into a summary. Now remember, I had to write that in a couple of sentences in my own words. So let's see what I came up with. The beautiful young lady Snow White is forced into the forest by a jealous evil queen, where she befriends seven dwarves who take her in. Sadly, she is poisoned by the queen. However, Snow White is saved by the handsome prince, and the dwarves chase the queen from the forest, where she falls from a cliff. Now let's see if I can highlight, boys and girls, some of the who, where, what and how things that I mentioned on the previous slide. So my who is of course Snow White. My where was in the forest. My what, my problem, was that she was poisoned by the queen. And then my how was she saved by the handsome prince and the dwarves, boys and girls. So my summary has included the answers that I gave for the questions on the previous slide. Let's look at another example, boys and girls. The Disney movie Finding Nemo this time is what we're going to be looking at. Now let's think about the who is in this movie. So again, the title is a good place to start, as it often indicates the most important part of the text. And it's really clear, it's for Finding Nemo. So Nemo is the kind of main character. And where are they? You can see in the picture that it actually gives you some of the coral reef that they live in. So they live in a coral reef specifically, but it's really in the ocean. What's the big problem that happens in Finding Nemo? You might want to tell somebody if you can just now. The big problem is that Nemo gets taken by a diver. He gets taken by a diver. And then how is that fixed, boys and girls? How is that problem resolved? His dad and Dory, they swim all across the ocean to find him. They try to find him. So now again that I've looked at a couple of these questions, the who, the where, the what, the how, I can go ahead and try to write my summary. So let's go and look at that. A young clownfish called Nemo is taken from his coral reef home by a deep sea diver. His father befriends a forgetful fish and they journey across the beautiful and at times dangerous ocean to find Nemo. So again, let's highlight, boys and girls, my who. So we have Nemo. The where does he live? In the coral reef home. What is the problem then? What's the bad thing that happens? He is taken by a deep sea diver. And then how is that solved? By his dad and the forgetful fish journeying across the ocean to find him. So let's just recap, boys and girls, our success criteria today. We're trying to summarise a text by thinking of things like who is in the text, where are they, what is the main problem of the text or the main ideas of the text, how is that text concluded or resolved or solved in some way. Go ahead and try that now, boys and girls. Let me know how you get on. If you do have any questions, then please ask your teacher. And please remember to upload your work onto Class Dojo or onto Teams. Thank you very much.